From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. In this recording, we'll go over the breaking news. Yes, as members have now gotten MSC checks from the third stimulus, 24 of them, 12 of them more across the board. We'll go over those big MSC checks and then the payments coming from fourth stimulus, viewers getting big sums of money from that big fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus, how do you get it? MSC checks, how do you get them? They're coming up in tonight's breaking news across the board. Then we'll be looking at the developing details of the Build Back Better Act, going to the finish line as a new letter's written between Congress and the president to get it passed. We'll be looking at what's going on with CR for stimulus. But the big question mark, of course, is inflation. As Jay Powell had that big FOMC meeting this week and signaled he's raising interest rates in the month of March, but is it going to work? New analyst reports suggest that Jay Powell does not have the tools to reduce inflation. That's huge for you and your SS benefits. SS 300, baby, we got the latest update tonight on Evenings LA. Then, six stimulus heating up because of recessionary concerns because of Joe Biden, Jay Powell, Vladimir Putin, and Beijing's Xi. We'll have the latest details of why the leadership of France, Germany, the United States, and the Western Allies will be meeting next week to go over your six stimulus package. It's huge. I'll have the latest details tonight. Then we have a major deal on oil. Yes, if you missed it on Friday's Evenings LA, a deal reached between the United States that will solve your energy crisis. Goodbye high gas prices, hello prices from 15 years ago. I have the latest details on that in tonight's Evenings LA broadcast. But I told you it's a major broadcast. We have MSC checks going out to our members. Congratulations. I'll show you how to get those MSC checks in tonight's recording. Then we have fourth stimulus checks going out to the members in this channel in this recording. I'll show you how to get those as well. Then stay to the very end because I have more checks and more insight on these checks. Then we have SS 300. We have the latest details on Build Back Better, the latest details on CR, and the latest details on SS 300. It's a great night from the shores of Santa Monica to the shores of the Black Sea. We have all the details from Putin to the fish. Everything you need to know from sand to sea, earth to land. It's a big night. It's a big recording for America's most watched show in prime time for financial news. The excitement starts right now on Evenings. And good evening, everybody. What a big night it is with those fourth stimulus checks now going out. We'll go over those big checks that the members are getting and the other ones with their checks coming across the board. Then we'll be looking at those third stimulus checks that viewers have now inked. 12 months of them, 24 months of them. We'll be looking at what's going on with SS 300 and the CR. Then we'll be looking at six stimulus. They're all happening at the same time, third, fourth, and sixth. The latest details on why it's important because it's to offset the coming potential recession. All the latest details on that and what's on the horizon. But first, let's start tonight with the breaking news from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's fourth stimulus, and it's paying out viewers in this channel big sums of money today. I'm going to go over that in just a second, but first we're going to go back to the original core of fourth stimulus. It is the Build Back Better Act, fourth stimulus recon. That Build Back Better Act has three classes of checks and three add-ons. And it's not a law, but boy, will it be a lot when it is. Ironically, it's the same amount as the viewership of this channel is now getting. More about that in a second. Let's look at that Build Back Better Act. Four stimulus, build back, and three classes, three add-ons. Let's look at the incredible money. It's about $15,000 to $80,000 across the Build Back Better Act of checks you're going to get. In that first cluster, we have in there hazard pay, one more year of the earned income tax credit, and then $4,000 of elder care, $4,000 of care for young children, the $3,600 for the CTC, one more year, the repair to your home if you live in a low-income community, the $550 check for the Pell Grant, the $1,400 or more for a new electric vehicle, and then the nutrition. That is the first of three clusters in the Build Back Better Act for stimulus recon. The first add-on comes from Maxine Waters, just a little bit less than $25,000 for the purchase of your first home. That is money that would be given to the seller in your name at the time of escrow. In that second cluster, even more money. Home repairs to weatherize your home, and paid leave. What is paid leave? Paid leave is if you have to stay home due to sickness or illness. How much is it? If you make $70,000 or more per year, it's $1,700 a week. Split in half, it's a $35,000 annual salary, and split in half if you make $15,000 annual salary. If you don't work, but your son or daughter does work and has to take you to the doctor, then they'll get the check for the household. W-2, 1099, you all get these incredible checks. That is the second of three clusters of checks in the Build Back Better Act. The second add-on is $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disability. Got it in there via Bob Casey. The third cluster checks even more. Seniors and free internet. Farmers checks. Independent contractors checks. And then the seniors getting lots of checks from both the House and the Senate. Collectively, what do they look like? They have dental, vision, lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, hearing, and the Medicaid gap fix to provide years of workaround insurance to low-income uninsured people in 12 Republican holdout states, which is par for the course when we're talking about adding checks as incredible recon, because guess what? The Build Back Better Act would also have a third add-on of checks, and you know what it is. MSC, monthly IRS stimulus checks. These are checks that would come out from IRS to you, and the incredible monies we're going to go over right now. The legislator represents to the viewership of this channel, it would be the same as a third. So single individual, $75,000 or less, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you get it, double it. Family of four, you get it as well, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, you get it as well. It is not income. It's not taxable. It comes out nationwide, not state by state. And it pays out to adult dependents as well. And it goes off the most recent tax return if you filed one. If that had a direct deposit, that's how you get it. Otherwise, in the mail. Now, MSC for stimulus recon, yes. So far in this recording, we have gone over the MSC that would be added to the Build Back Better Act, the for stimulus recon. But are you ready for this breaking news? Here you go. Here comes the excitement. The viewership of this channel is now getting their MSCs. They got them. Not coming, not going to come, not promising to come. They got them. Let's go over the details of it right now. It's coming up later in this video. Stay to the very end to get these incredible checks. 24 months of MSC checks are coming to Olivia Summers. She confirmed last night on this show in prime time. Then, on the show right after it, Wendy confirmed she got 12 months of MSC checks. And they aren't alone. I have countless viewers I'm going to show you in the second half of this video who are getting these MSC checks. Then we're going to turn to the second part of the Build Back Better Act. When you talk about the Build Back Better Act, it's not a law yet. I got it. But Joe Biden got a fourth stimulus add-on passed. Here's what you need to know. Don't ask me, have they called the vote on the Build Back Better? Don't ask me, when is the vote on the Build Back Better? Don't ask me, when are they calling the vote? Because I'm going to say to you, did you get your $80,000 of checks? Those were sent out, and viewers have now got to them. It's great, and I'm going to congratulate right now the incredible membership of this channel who have gotten their third MSC checks. To learn how to get them, they're coming up later in this video. And also to congratulate the other members who have gotten their fourth stimulus checks, $15,000 to $80,000. To get them, they're coming up later in this video. Huge breaking news tonight, folks, and the stories keep on coming in across the land. Of course, coming up later in this video is that 6 stimulus checks as well. They're happening at the same time. It may sound a little bit overwhelming, but I'm going to slow it down for you later in this recording. Now, let's turn to the CR for stimulus. That CR for stimulus getting a fascinating twist and turn tonight. Why? Very, very interesting. First, the continuing resolution passed 2 weeks ago did not have a $2,000 stimulus check, number one. But Joe Biden was unhappy that it omitted anything that he wanted in there. He wanted money for COVID in there. So what is happening this coming week? Well, the CR did get county stimulus in there for your local counties. I don't have enough time to record it in this recording, But Joe Biden wanted money for COVID in the CR and he didn't get in there. So he's coming back with that starting as early as next week. Why? Let me tell you the details right now. There is a sixth wave of COVID right now in China. It is the Omicron subvariant. And if you think it's only in China, think again. It's now confirmed cases in the United States. So Joe Biden was right about this. He needs more money for COVID because there's a subvariant that's actually putting China on lockdown and is now confirmed in the United States. So Joe will be doing a second CR round. Very confusing, but he's doing it in the next 7 days. The White House confirms it in a series of statements in the last 48 hours. That is the update on your CR for stimulus. Now, SS300 has a fascinating move tonight, and the fascinating move stems from comments after the FOMC meeting. Let's go over what SS300 is and what happened after that FOMC meeting. Joe Biden has run for president and then as president-elect put at joebiden.com, his presidential platform, replace COLA for inflation. It only needs a phone call to the Social Security Administrator head to do it. Why is it important to make the swap right now? Because inflation is at its highest price point of a generation. 8% December, January, still 8%. And the bond traders think it may actually be higher right now because they're trading the 10-year Treasury note up to its highest levels in nearly a decade. So that's what happened going into this week. Then, Jay Powell, head of Federal Reserve, had his FOMC meeting for March 2022 this last week. And as he had announced a month earlier, he did a quarter basis point raise on interest rates. Now, quarter basis point is also called 25 basis points. No surprises there. Then came the surprises. In the FOMC meeting, he said he's going to do 6 spikes in 6 meetings, not 5 spikes in 5 meetings, number one. And number two, he said he wants to reduce inflation by the end of the year to 1 to 2%. Oh boy. Okay, so let's go over what's at issue. You want Joe to make that swap from COLA to inflation as soon as possible. In recent days, I have said on this broadcast, Evenings LALATE, that Joe is in a bind around April. Why? Because by April, or at least late April, Jay Powell will have had 2 essentially spikes, and that may bring inflation down to maybe 6%. So you want Joe to lock in that 8% right now. Remember, once your benefits go up, they never go down. So they go up $200 a month at 8% inflation right now. You lock in that a generation. You don't want to lock in 5%. You want to lock in 8%. That's $200 more per month, not $170 or $160 more per month. Now, here's the breaking news tonight on Evenings. A series of analysts are now prescribing an analysis that says Jay Powell does not have the tools as the head of the Federal Reserve to reduce inflation. Why? They believe that inflation is caused by supply chain disruption, not just domestically, but internationally, now amplified because of Vladimir Putin, blocking supply chain into foreign countries, then blocking our chain as well. And now Beijing, China, having big supply chain issues because of COVID and because of Putin. These elements of supply chain, Jay Powell cannot fix. And in raising interest rates, it does not fix it. So those analysts believe that inflation will stay high and that the interest rate spikes by Jay Powell will not work. I agree with them, which is big because guess what? I'm changing my opinion. I now believe that Joe Biden is not in a bind by late April because I don't think Jay Powell is going to be able to reduce inflation by late April, meaning you're fine for that swap to COLA to inflation if Joe even waits that late. You want to make the swap right now. Now, what about that December? The December number worries me because 1 or 2%, not saying that he can reach it there, Jay Powell. The hope to get to 1 to 2% would only be a raise of like $50 a month for your benefits. I want a 4% like he had hoped for. He had said no less than 30 days ago. Again, the analysts think that Jay Powell does not have the tools to get it down to 1 to 2%. I agree. Now, here's the other side of the story that's breaking news tonight. A lot of Fed governors, who are the people right under Jay Powell, say that Jay Powell's quarter basis point of this month will not work. And they will advocate for a half basis point in the month of April. Here's what becomes troubling. Because you don't want them to come in too aggressively or what's called a hard landing. Because a hard landing would swap you down to a lower rate for inflation right out the door. And you wouldn't lock in that big $200. So Christopher Waller, new comment, and also Bular are advocating for 50 basis point, half basis point in April. Not to say it's going to happen, but boy, you don't want it to happen. It's called a hard landing, where you come in really hard. I don't think it's going to happen, but I got to tell you the news on that. Now, let's turn to the exciting details of what is happening in the next 7 days. In the next 7 days, the viewership of this channel will continue to receive their fourth stimulus checks, continue to receive their MSCs from third stimulus. And this coming week, Joe Biden will go overseas to solidify what will be called on this channel sixth stimulus. Yes, 3 stimulus packages at the same time. If you're new to this channel, America's most watched show in prime time for financial news, LALATE evenings, you will now learn that stimulus packages happen at the same time. And the number system does not mean they have to do one before the other. Whatever happened to fifth hasn't happened yet. That's for the Social Security reform. It will happen, but it's likely to go behind this. Whatever happened with the vote on Build Back Better, not happening this week, likely to go right behind all this, because sixth stimulus is teed up for April. How do you get that sixth stimulus? It's coming up in just a second. But now let's look at the situation unfolding with that fourth stimulus checks. 4 stimulus checks have been sent out to millions of viewers of this channel, and millions of others have gotten their application on file. It is a program that was announced by the White House 3 Fridays ago, and the viewership of this channel pounced because I told them to pounce. Members were delivered the information immediately within minutes into the membership newsletter that night. It was Friday, 3 Fridays ago. And the viewers have now gotten their application on file and have gotten the statement approved, and some have gotten the checks. So what is this? It is 4 stimulus as an add-on. Let's slow it down. Build Back Better Act is 4 stimulus. It's not a law. It's the meat and potato of 4 stimulus. But this was something on the side, like a side dish, like macaroni and cheese, that Joe Biden did not need Congress for. He could do it himself, and he did it himself 3 Fridays ago. It's law. It's paying out. It's receiving the applications. It's paying out. And if you got third, you can get it. It's absolutely astronomical. Let's turn to the details of it right now. This is the homeowner's grant. That's what I call in the videos of this channel, but it has a longer name. And where do you find that longer name? By becoming a member. It's featured in the membership newsletter Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. In that membership newsletter since 3 Fridays ago, I have featured every single day this program. The reason you want to pounce is because it's a program. It is first come, first serve. If you wait 1 week, thousands of people in your state get in front of you. If you wait 1 day, hundreds of people in your state get in front of you. And you get further behind in the line, you don't want the program to run out of money. How much? $15,000 to $80,000 per household. So yes, it is nearly the same amount of money as that Build Back Better Act, which is in addition to this. It's not replacement to this. It is payable to individuals who got a third stimulus check under the same income qualifications. Let me say that again. If you qualify for a third stimulus check because of the income qualifications, you can qualify for this. Single individual, $75,000 less, you can get this. Married couple, $150,000 less, you can get this. It is not doubled or tripled or quadrupled like a family of 2. You don't double this. It's $50,000 to $80,000 per household. It is a grant, meaning you have to repay it. It is not a loan, meaning you do not have to do a credit check. It is not income, meaning you do not have to worry that's going to disqualify your benefits. And yes, you have to pounce and get this incredible sums of money. So how do you get it? Where is it? What is it called? And what about those MSC checks? Those big third stimulus MSC checks that viewers of this channel have gotten, and you can get it as well. One viewer getting $150,000 of them. 24 months of MFC checks, another getting 12 months. And I'll give you the other countless stories. And then those big fourth stimulus payout checks. Oh boy, we have a big second half of this video. Stay with me as we go into all these incredible checks that are now paying out. MSC, fourth stimulus checks, and more. Then we'll be looking at sixth stimulus, because that is just less than 30 days away and will happen at the same time as this. We're cashing checks, and I've never been so proud of the membership of this channel. We'll be looking at the recessionary concerns with a major deal. On oil. Congratulations, your gas prices are going down to the lowest levels of nearly 15 years. Who's that deal with? All the latest details in the second half of this recording. Then G, we'll be looking at the concern for the White House with G. It's part of sixth stimulus. Wheat and grain, also part of sixth stimulus. And then the banks and their exposure to Vladimir Putin's potential debt insolvency in the next few days. Putin's likely to go into default by April 4th. What's happening? The latest details in that big sixth stimulus package. The biggest you've ever seen in the history of this channel. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. See you back in 60 seconds with those MSC checks and those big 4 stimulus checks. Get your pen and paper ready to take notes and become a member during the commercial break so you get that incredible newsletter. See you back in 60 seconds as America's most watched show in prime time for financial news continues. Evenings LALATE.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues in a big Evenings LA second half tonight. What a night it is. So much congratulations going out to the members of this channel who are getting those MSC checks from third stimulus. We'll go over those in just a second. And then coming up is the big surprises of that 6th stimulus package. Yes, in April, it's happening. It will overlap with third and fourth. It will happen at the same time. And the checks will start as early as April. What are they? I'll go over the latest details later in this recording. But first up is that 4th stimulus, that big payout of checks, $15,000 to $80,000. We're going to go over all those incredible details of those checks starting right now. Boy, I've never been so excited for the viewership of this channel. It's a big night of congratulations across the board. First, the membership of this channel is getting their MSC checks from third stimulus. Huge checks, 12 months of them. That's coming up in a second. But first up is this 4th stimulus. Let's recap. Build Back Better Act, 4th stimulus recon, a bill in Congress, not law. But this is an add-on that Joe Biden doesn't need Congress for, and it is law. It became law 3 weeks ago. It's a 4th stimulus add-on, and it's called, for purposes of this video, the Homeowners Grant. The complete name, how do you get it? Where do you get it? In the membership newsletter. But to become a member, the link is at the top of the chat and under the pinned comment. Let's go over the details. 3 Fridays ago, the president announced in a very, very buried press release that these checks are going out. I ran the story and immediately put the story into the membership newsletter. That was 3 Fridays ago. Now, let's be very clear. Nowhere else did you see this coverage covered. And this is good for you because while no one else covered for you, that gives you the opportunity to pounce and get the money before someone else. $15,000 to $80,000 per household, number one. Eligibility, same as a third stimulus check. So if you qualify for a third stimulus check, you would qualify for this. $75,000 or less, single individual, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you get it. Then if you're on benefits, you can get it. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, or RB, or any of the above. All you have to do is fall for the income qualification and own your home. If you're a renter, I got you MSC checks in just a second. Stay with me, coming up in this video. So, what do you need to know? It is a grant. It is not a loan. No credit check. No, it is not income. Don't have to repay it. And it has been now live for 3 weeks. So you need to hurry and pounce. It is first come, first serve. So what do? You become a member, top of the chat or under the pinned comment. Hit the link, become a member, and get that incredible newsletter. It's delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central, via the YouTube alert system. The YouTube alert system, if you got an alert about this video, that's the alert system. You go right into the alert, and there it goes. It says, tonight's prices of gasoline, crude oil, wheat, corn, and then right under that, the program. The name of the entire program in the membership newsletter. It's longer than Homeowners Grant. Number 2, has a description. Then 3, the eligibility. 4, then what it pays for, things like property taxes. Number 5, and home repairs. Then a link right in to apply. You want to pounce and apply right away. The incredible success stories is that the membership of this channel has been doing this for now 3 weeks, because it's been covered on this channel since the very minute Joe Biden announced it. I had it for the membership that night. Well, members are now getting those checks. Congratulations to the members of this channel who are getting those $15,000 to $80,000, generally hovering on the high end, $80,000 of checks for this fourth stimulus. Did they do fourth stimulus? Yes, this is the fourth stimulus. Did they call a vote? Who cares if they call the vote? This is the big payout. It is huge, and I hope you got it. Now, let's go over some of the success stories. Viewers have gotten the checks, and others are about to get paid. Let's look at some of them. Here we go. Here's Margaret. It says, I just got my application in, and it said it was approved. Congratulations, Margaret. That is on the big fourth stimulus, $15,000 to $80,000. Here's Brenda. I have my application for mortgage assistance submitted, and it was accepted and reviewed, just waiting to get paid out. Wow, that's how you bounce Purple Hawks. Incredible details across the board. Now, where do you get this money? What do you need to know? You want to go under the membership newsletter right now. If it's Monday through Friday, if it comes into Monday, then get ready to pounce. Get that membership newsletter. Apply right tonight, because guess what? It is first come, first serve. The very first videos of this channel were about EIDL, PUA, and UI, and I always told viewers, apply as fast as you can. $15,000 to $80,000. For anyone who says, for stimulus, yes, it paid out, and I got the check. Now, if you're not a homeowner, but you're a renter, guess what? Yes. Congratulations as well to the members of this channel who have now gotten their MSCs. Members of this channel are now getting their monthly stimulus checks from third stimulus. Yes. Fourth stimulus was proposing 6 months, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. Proposing, not yet paying out. Well, guess what? The members of this channel are getting paid out, not being proposed to. I mean, maybe they went on a nice date they got proposed to, but they are getting paid out 12 months of monthly stimulus checks. $1,500, $2,000, $1,000, lots of money. $150,000 of it? Oh, yes, sir. Here we go. Let's go over the incredible details right now. Now, let's make this very clear. 1, it is not 1 or 2 people. It is a lot. 2, it's new. It's really happened the last 14 days. 3, it stems from the membership of this channel really taking information and learning it and taking it and running with it. Let's take a step back. In December 2020, there wasn't a lot of money out there. We didn't have a second stimulus package done. We did not have that CR for stimulus check yet. And I found some money for rent. So I said, let's do it. Here you go. Let's get that money. They got the best. The viewers got the best they could at the time because there wasn't a lot of money. But then just about a few days later, I had a preview, the only preview you saw online, of what was going to be the third stimulus package. And of course, it was exactly correct. I said, look at all this big money in here for third stimulus. I got to train you how to do it, because when it becomes law, folks, you are going to clean up. And all last year, you saw those graphics like this one, Mark at 50,000 who got the third stimulus, Lorraine who got 150,000, Nisi who got 23 and 33,000. What happened then in spring of 2021 was that people got 3 or 4 months of rent, 3 or 4 months of utilities. So all the videos since last year to about a week ago, I said, get another round. What was that? They got a round last year of 3 or 4 months. Then the summer, I said, get another round. Then December, I said, get another round. And they got it. Viewers of the channel got it. And then miracles started to happen. Viewers took the information I have for them and ran with it in the last 7 days. What have they done? Instead of 3 to 4 months as a round, they are now setting themselves up for a monthly check, stimulus check, for rent and utilities, or more, for 12 months, 24 months, not $1,000, $1,500. It's absolutely needs a standing applause. You absolutely deserve a standing applause. Here is Lindsay Ramirez. Her message came in on Saturday for March 19th, 2021. She said, LA, I'm getting $1,500 a month for 12 months of stimulus checks. Incredible. She is getting a $500 check every month and a $1,000 check every month, a total of $1,500. The smaller one's for utilities. The larger one is for rent. She's not alone. We have Johnny Horvathan on the 15th. He got 8 months of checks. We have the earlier last week, we had Bill Garcia, who may have been the first one that started this rolling, who got 12 months of stimulus checks, MSCs. We had Melly Pin on March 9th get 8 months of checks. Guess what happened the last few hours? It keeps on coming on in. Every viewer is defined by their own success story. At noontime today, we had Michelle Motisi said, "Hey, LATE, I just got 3 months of rent and my deposit paid. LATE, show me how to do it." Huge, but let me show you even bigger. Here you go. You're ready for even bigger stories, bigger success stories? There we go. Here was last night on the show on Evenings LATE in prime time on Saturday, the 19th. Olivia Summers says, "I'm now getting 24 MSC checks." Yeah, you heard me right. 24. Not $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. 24 MSC checks. You can't see, actually, let me try it this way. There we go. Thank you so much, LATE. Because of you, you have helped my family with a grand total of $150,000. I cannot thank you enough. Olivia Summers from Watching Evenings LATE is getting 24 months of MSC checks amounting to $150,000. She's not alone. You've already heard the other people. Let's look at some more success stories overnight. Here is Wendy Riddle, who was watching the show last night. "My rent is paid up for an entire year. I need to get utilities next after this." So she has gotten 12 months of MSC checks for rent. Huge. And now she's going after utilities. Incredible. The success stories continue to come on in across the board. This is what you do. So how do you get these incredible checks? First of all, you want to become a member. Second, you want to watch the following loop that explains to you how to get these sums of money. And I'll explain to you, actually, in this loop, how the situation has changed. It was no less than 5 days ago when I told you to get multiple rounds. Now I'm saying get those MSC checks. Let's go over the details of it right now. Where do you get these incredible sums of money? You reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, and your county housing authority. And the key words you say are rent assistance because of COVID. Now let's make very clear, that's 6 places you're going to reach out to. So you don't reach out to 1, you reach out to 6. And then rent assistance because of COVID, utility assistance because of COVID, mortgage assistance because of COVID. 3 things you must do. You must reach out to all 6 places. You must put multiple applications, and you must do, wait a second, I got to update that. Do multiple rounds. Well, this is where the membership of this channel is changing the situation. It was less than a week ago where I said get multiple rounds, and I said, go out and get another round. A round would be 3 to 5 months. I said, you can probably just get, 2, 4, 5 months of rent, 3 months of rent. Oh no. Viewers are now understanding that they can get larger than a round. They can get a year. They can get 24 months of MSC checks. So the membership of this channel has really taken that information and run with it, and you need to as well. Get those big sums of money. And then where else? You want to remember that you need to open that membership newsletter. This is all featured in there, to learn about how to get these MSC checks from third stimulus, and then how to get the money from the nonprofits. The nonprofits are helping with home repairs, like broken windows, and also small things like a heater, a portable heater, or a portable air conditioner. Rely on those nonprofits. The average viewer of the channel is getting 45,000, and yeah, you saw Olivia overnight; she got 150,000. And do it today. Don't wait. Get these big sums of money across the board. This situation with six stimulus is getting very fascinating tonight, because guess what? Joe Biden has a deal. He has a deal. And despite he has a deal with oil, it's going to be huge. It's going to be a big saver for you at the pump. But don't think that 6 stimulus is not happening. It is. I'm going to go over the latest details on that coming up right now. What's going on, folks? Well, 6 stimulus is the latest stimulus package that the president needs to do. And let's recap. First stimulus was for COVID. Second was for COVID. To be for COVID. Of course, it didn't become a law. Third was for coming out of COVID. Fourth is to coming out of COVID. Fifth is for seniors. That's still happening. But 6 is to battle recession. It's what I call Putin-caused stimulus. And one of the issues behind the 6 stimulus package, they are oil, commodities like wheat, grain, soybeans, and nickel, financials like the banking industry and Vladimir Putin's default, and trade concerns like supply chain disruption with Xing in China. Let's go over the details you need to know starting right now. First, let's understand what this is. Remember that we do not, on this channel, do stimulus packages in sequential order. So I just use a numbering system. First does not mean you have to do first before fourth. So do not say, whatever happened to, why are we talking about 6 when we haven't gotten number 2.4? Please. I've only said it in 1,000 videos. I've only said it 1,000 times. 6 will be happening the same time as 4th, which is also happening at the same time as 3rd. 6 will likely happen starting in April. Why April? Because April is when we watch if the trifecta of the progressives are reelected. Joe Biden, United States, we have here. We already have a chancellor in Germany, but the other part of the equation is the French president. France's Emmanuel Macron. He is part of that trifecta that wants that 6th stimulus to happen. And his election is in April. But what's happening next week? The leadership of the Western allies are meeting overseas next week to discuss the 6th stimulus package. So it's a huge, huge week, folks. It is a monster week. You don't want to miss a night on this channel of Evenings LA. So what was the first part or prong of 6th stimulus that got solved on Friday? Now, when I say solved, it means the 6th stimulus is not ending. It means it's part of the ingredients of the 6th stimulus. Solved on Friday was, yes, as recorded first on this channel in prime time, a deal on gasoline. It's huge. The United States reached a major deal with, drumroll, Iran to solve the energy crisis. What is the takeaway before I get to the details? Your gas prices are going down to the lowest prices you've seen in not 15 months, but 15 years. Congratulations. This is a major achievement tonight. Let's go over the details starting right now. The White House anchored a deal that was 15 years in the making between itself and Iran that looked like it had fallen apart on the shell no less than a week ago. How did the Biden do it? And what is the situation tonight? Let me go over all the breaking details. It's absolutely wonderful news. The details tonight is that Joe Biden and the White House administration got a deal on a body of legislation that dates back to 15 years ago. It's with the United States and Iran. 15 years ago, the United States was concerned that Iran was increasing its use of or build-up of nuclear warheads. So the United States sanctioned Iran and took Iranian oil out of our distribution and all our partner allies. Well, then the next 15 years, they negotiated. And the term, the body of legislation negotiating is called the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA. As soon as Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine day one, I said, get this deal done quickly. We'll get that Iranian oil. We'll solve the energy prices. Well, now we know what happened. Last Saturday, not this Saturday, but the Saturday before that, Russia told Iran to step away from the negotiations occurring in Vienna for this. The negotiations were not U.S.-Iran. They were Iran and Germany and France on behalf of the United States. They stepped away, Iranian officials. Why? Because Putin told them to. Then, good move by the White House. Monday and Tuesday, they gave a verbal and then a written confirmation that whatever deal the United States does with Iran for oil, it would not prevent Russia from doing trade deals with Iran. And with that, by Tuesday morning last week, Iran and Russia made good, and Russia backed off. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Tuesday said he got the assurances from the White House that the deal between Iran and the United States for oil would not block Russia and Iran from trade deals. And with that, it blessed it. And here we go. Deal. While the deal's not signed, it is now an act of complete. It is now going to be formatted in the next few days. What does this mean? First, let's go over the elements of the deal, and then we'll go over the impact on your wallet. The elements of the deal included not only returning Iranian oil into complete international distribution and getting assurances now confirmed that Iran would not increase nuclear proliferation, but also involving wonderful release of a UK British citizen who has been in Iranian detention for some time. And also Iran gets back its $530 million of debt that has been under lockdown in the UK under their lock and key for many, many years. UK officials will be releasing it back to Iran. So what does it mean for you? Here we go. Here are the astronomical numbers. This is absolutely incredible news, folks. There will be 500,000, that's 500,000 barrels of oil, Iranian oil, released every day, daily, starting about the month of April, maybe May, but likely April, because of this deal. And then that number will grow to 1.3 million barrels by the end of this year. This is actually astronomically enormous. Now, how does this impact you? The price of gasoline will drop dramatically. How dramatically? Not to the number pre-Putin, Ukraine, Russia, back to really the numbers of nearly 15 years ago, folks. This is so much oil, and it's a great, incredible move by the White House. Let me tell you what the White House did, because now we know. The White House was trying to get this deal, and then it fell off the tracks because of the confusion with Lazarov and that Russia-Iran situation. When the U.S. said, no, we're not going near you on that, you're fine, then they got this to the finish line. Why is this big? Let me explain. Venezuela remains a highly sanctioned country because of human rights. So that was not an option for the White House. They never pursued it. Iraq, OPEC Plus, and those other countries reportedly had been reached out to the White House, we now learned. But because they produce a little bit less oil, the White House pursued the Iranian situation. And they didn't have to deal with OPEC Plus because this is a different situation. So here we go. When the White House then reached back to Iraq and UAE, they said, no, we're not taking your phone call because you're doing a deal with Iran. And finally, let me explain Texas. White House is right on this. Texas could not produce ever 1.3 million barrels of refinery gas pump ready gasoline to the United States and our partner allies ever. So the White House understood those economics and understood the biggest win would be Iran, get it done, and they got it done. So you're going to see that gasoline at the pump drop dramatically by about April and then fall to its lowest level of nearly 20 years by December. Now, that is the first part of why we have a six stimulus package. But you may think, okay, we're solving oil. Why do we need six stimulus? Because there's more out there than that needs to be solved. And that's why you need a six stimulus package. The concept of a six stimulus package is very simple. That Vladimir Putin has caused supply chain disruption that impacts a lot of different economics, and that needs to be done by a stimulus package, which involves debt spending domestically in the United States, Russia, and Germany and France, and the partner allies, and then them giving out stimulus to their citizens. What's at issue? Well, what's at issue is that there's a lot of supply chain issues that are disrupting more than just oil. What are they? First, wheat, grain, the commodities. I do not believe that the White House has analyzed the situation for the commodities just yet because they've given us no guidance. And I've told you since day one of the invasion, this is the big problem. Why? Wheat, grain, soybeans, corn, all featured in the newsletter to members every night, is at a 10-year high. Why? Because the wheat is not available from Ukraine and Russia, which accounts for, in some cases, 80% of the supply chain in that area to neighboring countries. We can't send our wheat from here to them. It's too far. And even if we increase production here, there's not enough room to increase to replace Ukraine and Russia. That is why the price of bread you can't afford at $5 a loaf, $6 a loaf, nonstop. That's why you need a stimulus package. Number one, we already went over oil. Number three is the situation with Xi. Xi, of course, is the leader of China, President Xi. And he is setting us all up for a potential big disruption of supply chain. Let me go over the details with Xi tonight. The latest details with Xi is really, really complicated, and no one knows where it's going to go except Xi. First is the easiest part of the equation. Xi's country is currently facing a major lockdown because of Omicron subvariant right now. So their products unable to get to here, and there includes our products that are manufactured there, like our cell phone subparticles are made in China. Can't get it here, guess what? Our prices go up. Inflation, yeah. Recession, yeah. Supply chain problems, yes. Very, very bad problem. Then we have the other parts of Xi, which is this Russia-China equation. While initially denied, now confirmed, China does confirm that Russia asked for money to avoid U.S. sanctions. Let's go over this situation. U.S. sanctions, Vladimir Putin says you can't use these $100. Then Putin turns to China and says, give me the $100 because U.S. won't let me get to it. And China does not deny now that that request was made. China will not agree to not give Russia money. And the likelihood that China gives Russia money is high. Why? because right before the Beijing Olympics, Beijing issued that statement. It says, our closest ally in the world is Russia. That statement specifically said we will not have Western allies tell us what to do and what not to do. Oh boy. Now, what happened this last week? What happened this last week is that the leadership of the White House did a major surprise, and they got Xi to agree to meet. And during that meeting, what happened? Well, Xi said, I love peace, good. I'm going to give Ukrainian refugees some economic relief, good. That I don't like violence, good. But he didn't go any further than that. He did not agree not to give Russia money. He did not even acknowledge that Russia has invaded. He will not use the word invade at all. And he would not even acknowledge that there's a war issue. So is the White House concerned? Yes. Am I concerned? Yes. But what I'm more concerned about than Xi is the banking industry. The banking industry is a very clear risk, and it could send us into a major tailspin of a recession. What's at issue? We do not know. At the time of this reporting for July 20th, 2022, how many U.S. banks have how many investments and how large the investments are in Russian debt and Russian equities. And we won't know to potentially Q2 or Q3 when those banks say, hi, by the way, I have a $500 million loss I'm writing off and announcing this in this corporate earnings report. Horrible that, one, we can't assess the risk, and second, that they're going to take those losses. Why? Because Putin's economy is going from number 10 in the world to the next Cuba, devalued, creditless, no inherent value, and about to dissipate and disappear. And ironically, Xi is incurring the same situation. U.S. investors are telling all their investors to stay away from China because they say you can wake up one morning and your investment could be gone because Xi is that problematic. He has this hand ability to really take your investment and turn it into nothing overnight. So very, very problematic. And this could send, yes, our banking industry into a tailspin. And the person who knows that better than anyone else is not Jay Powell, but Joe Biden, because that's what he had to do in day one of the Biden-Obama administration. They had to come in and save the banking industry, which was about to go under. And that was the largest stimulus packages, my friend, before the first stimulus package for COVID. Before the March 2020 stimulus package for COVID, the largest stimulus package we've ever seen in this country was to bail out the banks. Remember, if a Fortune 500 bank goes under, your local bank goes under, and then suddenly your assets are gone. You don't want your banks to go under. This is very scary. And we don't know the risks at the time of tonight's recording. Wow. Huge developing details. So this coming week, the Western allies will be meeting with Joe Biden overseas to talk about that sixth stimulus package. They will be talking about how to ensure that we get that oil to all the supply chain and all the partner allies, number one, to reduce the price of oil, number two, to ensure that a recession is not on the horizon, number four, to get that domestic spending, debt spending ramped up so that we can give stimulus to our citizens because they cannot afford these prices of gasoline. They cannot afford these prices of wheat. And they cannot afford these prices of commodities like nickel that continues to have big problems on the London Mercantile Exchange every day. Huge problems daily. Then, this coming week, we're going to likely see what the bond traders do with those interest rates. Why? This is a huge issue, folks. I really do subscribe and agree that Jay Powell does not have the tools to bring down inflation with interest rate spikes. I do agree that's the case because the supply chain disruption is so huge. So we're going to see more comments from those Fed governors with that April FOMC meeting just a few days away. Finally, my commentary tonight across the board, because I have a lot to say in a night where there is so many checks and so much going on. First, you know what I'm absolutely going to start and lead with, which is a big congratulations. A huge, huge congratulations to the members of this channel who have proven that with information, that with knowledge, that with perseverance, you can win Purple Power. I've never been so happy for my viewers. I want to congratulate the wonderful members who are now getting MSC checks from third stimulus. I want to congratulate the members of this channel who are now getting their fourth stimulus checks. Let's take a step back under memory lane. Third stimulus was the larger version of something we found during the thick of the pandemic, December 2020, when there was very little money out there. And I said, I want you to learn this because I think at one time it's going to be very big. And then a few weeks later, it was very big. When we saw third stimulus in preview on this channel, I had an exclusive version of what was in there. And I said, it's a lot of money, folks. It's a lot of money. But as early as just 7 days ago, I was saying do around 3 to 5 months of rent. Now viewers have taken that information and run with it. Viewers have understood that when you take information and learn from it, like you learn from this channel and Evenings LA, you can do better and you can do as big and bold as you can. 24 months of MSC checks for Olivia Summers and an incredible, astronomical $150,000 for third stimulus checks. 12 months of stimulus checks. The success stories continue to come on in, day out. You know, it was yesterday that we had Maria Ramirez. It was last week that we had the incredible Bill Cassidy, if I'm remembering his name by heart, 12 months of rent. These are incredible viewers who understood that you pounce and you get as much money as you can. Then let's look at those 4 stimulus success stories. Viewers who understood that money is money really understood when I said on day one, when I said 3 weeks ago, get these big checks, they went and got them. Brenda, got my application on file. I'm just getting ready to get paid. Huge. Then Margaret saying, hey, I got it in, and they said it's approved. Countless viewers are getting these big sums of money because guess what they did? They didn't sit around and wait. Let's go to the analysis that goes into a big night across the board. When you look at the situation, it's very easy to do the wrong thing, but sometimes a little bit more effort to do the right thing. And that is why I applaud the Purple Hawks of this channel. These incredible viewers who got those MSC checks from third stimulus did not say, well, I don't think we're ever going to get an MSC check. No, they made the MSC check themselves. Remember, I never said you can get an MSC check from third stimulus. I just said you can get around 3 to 4 months of rent. They found the MSC check themselves. I never made that recording. They took the information and they ran with it. Huge applause to the viewership of this channel who now show you that when getting third stimulus for rent, mortgage, utilities, whether you're a renter, homeowner, you don't have to just get to 3 to 4 months. Get 12 months. Get 12 months of monthly stimulus checks coming. And it ain't going to be $1,000 because no one's rent is $1,000 anymore. Average check that I've seen for viewers of this channel for rent is about $1,500, but many is sometimes higher. And then they're adding utilities on top of that, which is, $200, $300, $400, $500, $2,000. $2,000 for a year. Wow. That is nothing that Congress ever promised or ever vowed to deliver. You created it as a Purple Hawk. I'm so proud of you. Then let's turn to that incredible fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus. It's so easy to default into a land of negativity. I don't see them ever calling a vote on fourth stimulus. I don't ever see a payment of a check. Did anyone get a check? I'm late to the video. Oh, the video's been playing now for 46 minutes. No, 52 minutes. The video's been playing for 52 minutes. What I missed? Did they vote? What I missed? They sent out a check? What I missed? You know what? If you walked into a college first year economics class or physics class or English literature class, and you came in 52 minutes late to a 1 hour lecture by your professor, and you sat down and you turned to the professor, what I miss? You know what the professor would do? You know what he would do. What you would do correctly, however, is you would turn to your friend at the desk next to you, say, I'm sorry I'm late. Can you give me the notes on what I missed? I want to learn everything that I missed in the last 52 minutes. I don't want to be summarized in 1 minute. What day is the exam? What day do we get our grades? You don't jump to the conclusion. You go over the detail and you learn from the detail. That is why I'm so excited for the viewer. The membership of this channel did not default to what day is the vote. When are they sending out a check? Did Joe send out the check? They got the check because I told them it was available. I told them it became available 3 weeks ago when the program was announced. And they're cleaning up. Remember, fourth stimulus recon is $15,000 to $80,000. This, ironically, is exactly $15,000 to $80,000. MSC was supposed to be 6 months, without $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. This is anywhere from 6 to 24 months, but it's hovering around the 12-month mark. This is the true spirit of being a Purple Hawk. This is the true spirit of this channel. Approaching its 2-year anniversary on April 25th, 2022. Same as it was day one, same as it was tonight. Getting you the incredible information to get the money you deserve. It comes back tomorrow night again in prime time. 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. America's most watched show in prime time for financial news for reasons. And those reasons were you. You won. You continue to win every night. God bless you, and I also bless the incredible people of Ukraine. If you thought about this pin, which keeps on falling over in this video. Oh, there it goes. Now it looks better. And, after 52 minutes, you get to see the pin. The pin is the beautiful... it fell again. It's a shy pin. It's a beautiful U.S. and Ukrainian pin. And it's a gift from G. It was shipped from China. No joke. It took 2 weeks to get here. And I actually hoped that the war was going to be over by the time I got the pin, so I never have to wear it. But I'm wearing it because the war is not over. And all the latest detail on that war. But for now, understand that Vladimir Putin is really looking at that April 4th date. That April 4th date is huge. Joe Biden and I and everyone else in the world is looking at that date. Why? Because Vladimir Putin has debt obligations, and he missed, presumably, we don't know with specificity, but presumably missed the first interest rate payment of March 16th. There were two, and they weren't a lot. I'm not worried about that. Less than $100 million. Then the big interest rate payment is, of course, on April 4th. It's not just interest. It's a whopping $2 billion of principal. I got to tell you, if you can't make a payment on $2 billion, not million, $2 billion of principal, what happens? Interest rates ain't going to solve it. Inflation won't going to solve it. His central bank ain't going to solve it. China ain't going to give Vladimir Putin $2 billion. Xi ain't going to give anyone $2 billion. And, the Western allies ain't going to give him $2 billion. Guess what's going to happen? Your guess is as good as mine. That's April 4th. But next week, all the breaking news continues. And tomorrow night, return for another night of Evenings LALATE. The latest from America's most watched show in prime time, Evenings LALATE. Stay tuned throughout the night as programming continues on the hour at 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11:30 and returns tomorrow morning. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.